Hello there and welcome back. Today we talk about circuit rhythm from Novation. Thanks for first Novation for sending me this unit to try. I had it for a while right now. This is a sample-based instrument, so definitely kind of outside my comfort zone because mostly I use synth and sequencer, and I don't sample too much, and or at least I don't use only sample to play. Mostly my sample are always environmental stuff or effects or pads. So in this case, this machine work only with sample. I'm having here a simple setup with the abstract instrument Avalon, which I will use to show you how you can sample from outside and how you can trim something or use I think for me would be the most go-to setup. Use this as a drum machine and something else to create the melody or bass or whatever you need. So before going into the description of everything, few ways you can support the page. And as usual, you can buy from the affiliate link down below. You can become a Patreon where I release more in-depth reviews and exclusive content, or you can just subscribe to this page, share it, it's free and it will help a lot. Okay, so let's talk about the rhythm. This came after they released the circuit tracks, that is their synth. So in that case, that has a synth engine. This one is only sample. So it has 8 tracks that you can see here. You can play monophonically one sample per step. So basically it has a sample flipping function like other sampler here. So for example, if you're track 1, you can per step change the sample that's gonna play here, but it's gonna be just one sample per step. That is not a problem for me because I like very simple thing and I like to have mostly one sound per track, so I know what's happening and what controls I can use easier. So on the top you have some macro control from a master volume, and then this set here will work for the shaping your sample, and then you have a master filter that is a pretty handy tool to shape your live performances, because I think this is a great machine for live performances. It's small, it's battery operated, it's very light, so it can be smart rather than using other bigger stuff to just bring this one, load your sample and have this would be a super powerful drum machine. What else? How? First, I won't show that because there's other tutorial and I don't want to hook up my computer, but how you load the sample. So you use the component website, so you connect via USB the circuit, and you will be able first to upload other packs that are already being crafted by Novation or artists that work for Novation, or you can create your own. I think you have around 250 seconds to create a pack. That means, like, if you go in the sample page here, oh, I have the effects going on, yes. So how, whenever you go in a sample page, you have at least, this would be your pattern, your steps, sorry. And let's show. For example, right now I have a kick going on, 4 on the floor, and I can choose from a collection of sample here in the pack. This pack I crafted by myself. And this is the recording. So I will show you few tracks that I did, a few projects as it calls, and how you can use it. And maybe we do by we build one from scratch. So what happened? Basically, here you have your pack. You can load pack here, so you can shift all the function have, so when they have a second name, you hold shift and show here how many pack you have. Right now I deleted all the standard pack, like the factory pack, because I always love to use my sound, and so I have just one. This other one is empty, and I just load what I like. So let's hear it again. I have a series of kick, and this come from sample from Mars, some electron stuff that I had, and something that I recorded by myself, or the melodic stuff recorded by myself. You change page by this. So in total, it's not a lot of stuff, but enough to create few patterns. Once you select your track, so for example now, let's start from scratch. So let's go project, open one. When they are dimly lit is empty. When I bright blue means that there's something. So I loaded this one now, and now there's nothing. So first you would select your track. Let's say you want to start putting down some kick. So you select the sound here, and then you put down. Of course, you can then put the tempo, the swing. Now I'm fine with this kind of tempo, so I'll keep it like that. So first things, you can change the sample that is playing. So for now, I have this, but if I change here, it will change the sample that is playing on track 1. But I could press, and while I'm keep pressing, add another different sample to them. So when the color is this pinkish color, means that it's used another sample rather than the one that is fixed for this track. Okay, so let's say this is enough for our bass track. Let's place down even here I could change things. I can then, let's go the shape it later, and let's add some hi-hat. So from this one, let's start to create something more interesting from this simple rhythm that I created. So in track 1, using the mixer, I can unmute everything, and I want just to hear now the bass drum. So you will always be mostly in sample page here to set the trigger, choose the sample you want, and then you can go in the note page. In the note page, you can basically give use the tone, the sample as a keyboard, as you can hear. So this is very interesting for tuning your drums, for example. Let's change. Okay, now for example, if I want to change the note, let's change something. So this one, we can use that. So basically you press the note you wanna, the pattern, the step you wanna add variation, and now here we are. That said, let's see how you can furtherly change the sound. So you have the tune, a general tune, that you can tune your sample. If you press shift, you're gonna go by steps, semitones. Then you have a start. So of course, in the case of a kick that has a transient at the beginning, if you make it start later, you will lose the transient. You have a length. Slope, it's create a slope at the beginning of the transient, so it softens the attack. I guess. Or actually, it works bipolarly. Exactly. You can basically move your attack and release. You have a distortion, then high pass, low pass, and resonance. You can record the movement of all of these if you press rec while the thing is playing, and you can change time. I'm not a big fan of doing that kind of stuff because I got confused. So I usually set up something that I like and stick with that. So say we like this, let's move to the other. Let's actually add this. So let's say we want to use different length of the pattern. So here is where your pattern setting work. And let me be clear, there's many things that you have to know and understand, and there's not a lot of submenu, it's mostly everything here. So I'm just going through a fast workflow and show you how fast you can build something rather than do a in-depth review. So if you press here, you have two modalities. One is pattern setting and one is probability. So right now it's in pattern setting. These are 16 steps. If I put here now, gonna be 15 steps. And as you can hear, it changed. I like this time. That's a lot. So this track tree is gonna be just 15 steps long. That said, you can also add probability. So per step, you can hold a step. When this is full lit, mean that has 100% probability, but we can put less. Add some other note. You can add also in the gate micro step. So for example, as you can hear, you can add some micro stepping, sort of flaming stuff. Let's put this in less probability, so it once in a while is triggering. So right now we have already something going on. Let's spice that up. So you have a mixer page where you can of course turn things on and off, and you can also use the correspondent knob to set the volume, and also the panning if you press here, so you can move it. But let's leave it as is for now. That said, you have also effects. And effects, it has a delay and reverb. So the pitch color is the delay. It has a different preset. So this machine has a lot of preset going on. So you need to embrace how it sounds and how it works. And it's great, to just sketch down ideas, and then maybe later on you can refine. So to add the effects, you use the correspondent knob. So I know that track 3 is the hi-hat. So as you can hear, now I'm adding, this is the color correspondence, so I'm adding the reverb. So a little reverb, this one, and now let's add some delay. Nice. And now let's add it to the snare too. Nothing on the bass, otherwise it could be super nasty. This is not the only effects you can use. You have grid effects. Here we are. Grid effects is a collection here. You can also change it in the component and add different sets of effects. It has, this is a beat repeater. This is a gator. Phaser, vinyl emulation, and this is a reverse. You can also latch with this. and you can have many going on at the same time. When you unlatch, things will go back to the thing. At the same time, you can use the master effect, that is a bipolar. If you go this side is a low pass and high pass. This allows you to have a kind of nice way to, no, that doesn't match. That allows you to have a lot of interesting thing to do as a live performance instrument. Let's add now some sound, some tone to it. So let's turn on all the other tracks. Let's go back in a sample page. Let's select track 7, for example. It's going to be our bass. And let's find a sound. Let's use this one. Okay, let's shape a little the sound. Add some slope so it's a little softer, some distortion. So now we can change the note if you want. One thing is also you can play live with record. I prefer more the approach of placing down steps. So now we can add some probability to it. Or let's try with 50. No, let's just like that. Let's add these like this. Then I show you how you can change fastly pattern to get interesting result. Now let's add a pad and then let's finish like that. Again, track 8, sample. Let's choose the sample. I like this one. Let's make it a little less invasive, something like that. Okay, let's make the pattern longer. So if I go pattern setting, if you this is like the division of the pattern, so like this, it's slow. Okay, in the mixer we can tune down this a little. And here we are, this could be already your pattern. Super easy. Now, how you can evolve from here? So you have a few strategies, and we used just 5 tracks. So you have 3 more, do whatever you want, but now let's keep it simple. So you can go in the patterns view. Patterns view basically, I would say something like an Ableton Live where you have your clips. So these are, right now it's playing all of this first line. If I load these other clips here, there's nothing load, right? So what I can do, I can duplicate this lane. And so you press duplicate and you do like this. So duplicate what you want to duplicate and where. And now if I load the second line, same. So now what you can do, of course, you can change, you can duplicate that many times and then change on the note page, you can change like the steps. So easy. And you can have basically each project has 8 different patterns. So there's 4 and the second page other 4. So you can have a lot of variation for the same track, sounds, whatever you want to call it. Another fun things that you can do, you can be in the sample page, and then with shift you can hit here, duplicate page, that also mutate with the shift, and it will destructively, so you cannot come back, but as you see, it will, using the same note, change it around the space. So it can lead to very interesting stuff. Let's change the bass too. And maybe this one. As you can hear, right now we just mutate, I just shuffle things up, and something interesting came out. There's only the effects that you hear is on the hi-hat and the other drum part, the snare. Fun. You can it's very easy to perform. Again, it's not that you have a lot of control on what happened. I think this is a machine thought more as a fun way to deal with your music, to put down sketches and then maybe record it separately, or just have an enjoyable way to perform live. I think I covered most of it. Let's hear something else that I did before, just using this selection. I was 24 sample, so super simple. I kept it super simple. Again, you go load project and you can load. One. I like this one. I keep using the same sound, 5 or 6 sound, and try to get as more interesting as I can. And then the one that we were listening before. This I really like. Let's see now the last step, like how you record into the machine, and then we can go to the conclusion. So these are it's not the things that I would use too much, because again, I'm not the sample savvy person, but let's try. So let's open a new project. Let's choose a different pattern here. I don't like any of these, that's fine. Let's use this one. So first thing first, we load a new project. Let's go, and we have to choose where to save our sample that come in. So I like to put the bass on track 7. So I go track 7. Here you have the things already recorded. Okay, so you can choose. In sample rec, it shows you actually the free slot that you have. So you have to just pick one. When it's red, it's empty. So I'll pick this one. It will become armed. So when you start playing, now they're MIDI controls. So when I start playing, it has a threshold and it will start recording. So I will record a couple of bars of that. Oh, maybe I have to play again. Here we are. Sorry, it's armed when it's lit fully. Okay, now I record it. So now it's saving there. Takes a little to save. And then you can actually go. Here we are. Now you can use these in different way. Since they were MIDI controlled, I know that they were in same time, so it will correspond 16 step to 60 step here, right? You can do different things now. You can use this sample with a keyboard. There's no time stretching, meaning that or if there is, I didn't know yet. You have also way to decide if the sample is one shot, is gated, is looping, it reverse. If you want to reverse, here. Or there's the other things, you can use it as a keyboard, as I was showing you right now, or slice. In slice mode, you decide how many slice having. In slice mode is like when you get on your MPC or Ableton, you get a full sample and it's sliced in different parts. So right now, you go in Note. This allows me to maybe create different variation. Because I can put different notes. Let's add some kick. So right now I have already something going on that can be used, and the things that I like is just like I can then bring back my bass machine here and create something more complex. I can go in the mixer and actually in the effect and start adding some things. Let's hear on here. Nice. Nice. And here we are in how much? A minute. You just have a pattern that is interesting, and then you can play with it and add stuff. So I don't want to keep going too much because it's already half an hour, as I just checked. There's of course many other things that you can do with these. It can be way more complex, or it can be easy as it was right now. So one consideration to do the conclusion of this, I feel that every time you have a new machine, whatever it is, at least for me, the first step that I do is always trying to use it at the maximum level, no everything inside out of the machine, and that always lead me to be kind of frustrated and not knowing anymore, not enjoying it. I realize that if you actually use it in the simplest way and for what actually fit your workflow, and in this case for me is a rhythmical machine, and it's called Rhythm, so it actually becomes fun and interesting to explore. With this guy, you can see there's a lot of great tutorial around. I will check Ricky Tinitz and Midlife Synthesizer. I will put the link down below that have, you know, a lot of a different approach, and this can be used in so many different ways. You can do full tracks with it, just loading your sample, or you can use it just for drum machine. You can, it's not very useful as a backing track because there's not enough, the sample can be long enough, but I feel that this is really powerful as a live tool, especially for drumming part. And maybe you can load some of the effects and you know, environmental kind of sound or pad. It's very simple to mangle and tweak the sound and get to something that really sounds interesting and fun in 1 minute. So as usual, I really appreciate when instruments have this kind of improvisation and let you just have fun, let you play in the sense of playing like a toy and enjoy what you're doing. I think I won't go what are the things that I don't like, because honestly, if you take it for what it is, it's a super fun machine, it's affordable, and maybe for some of you guys the lack of a screen could be a deal breaker, and sometimes it is for other stuff that I had. In this case they did a great job in making everything pretty intuitive. And I read the manual. I actually didn't really read the manual at all. I just see some video and go from there. So I assure you, once you get the hold of it, it's pretty fun. What can be frustrating at the moment is just like for some of the submenu, say for example you are on the pattern setting, you maybe don't know what this does because it's not written here. So it's the division, so you have to remember that this is the length of the pattern. It kind of makes sense after a while, but as for example, I don't remember what these do. So I embrace that, and like I know that I don't need to know everything to play nice. There was that rule, right? You know, 20% of one things and you have fun with it, and you can just produce as much as people that know more from that. So I'm always happy to get to that 20% that really get me productive and having fun. That said, thanks again to Novation for sending this one. I'm a fan of them. I have the Peak, that is one of the synths that I love most, especially for all of my pads and you know, effects kind of sound. So this probably will be used in my live setup as mostly drum machine. So I would load all of my sound, and maybe, I don't know, in the future I will collaborate with them and prepare a rhythm pack for you to download. I have already some ideas. It could be fun to just share some of my sound and see what you're gonna do with that. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. I'll see you next week. Have fun.